starts at 10.
This morning on ABC 57 News Weekend Morning Edition, we are continuing to bring your first warning of this weekend's super snowstorm. Just how much you can see in your neighborhood today and a live look at the roads this morning as you head out the door. ABC 57 News Weekend Morning Edition is following a super snowstorm hitting our area. Tracking this storm is important to us and important to you all. Good morning, I'm Rachel Brown.
I'm Shay Sorensen.
And I'm Greg Bobus.
We start this morning with breaking news overnight. Roughly 3,000 people were without power in St. Joseph County. Indiana-Michigan Power tells ABC 57 News a pole insulator failed. They are still investigating. This is video from the scene overnight as crews work to restore power. I&M says all customers were switched to another power source and electricity has been restored. ABC 57 News will keep following this story and bring you updates as they develop.
Yes, well, so far here at the station we've had 4 inches of snowfall, so lots of snow. I'm going to continue to update you guys on road closures, advisories for traveling coming up in the next couple of minutes.
Yeah, we're kind of buckling down for this one. We're pretty much not even quite the halfway point of this one yet. So we've got a long way to go. We'll take you through what we've already seen, where we're headed for the rest of today. We'll look ahead to snowfall totals. Look ahead to the timing, the tracking, the whole 9 yards. We've got you covered. You're coming up from the full forecast. But to start the here and now, what we're looking at on First Warning Satellite Radar is snow for everyone. And that's been the story the past 6-8 hours. We'll back it up even to the beginning of this snow coming up at the next full forecast again in about 10 minutes. But as you can see, the dark colors are the heavier snowfall, not that far down to our south thanks to temperatures that are warm. They're seeing rain as close to us as between Rochester and Indy. But for us here, heavy snowfall continuing, and that's something we've got to get used to for, again, the rest of this morning into the afternoon. Some of the heaviest snowfall still in front of us. Snowfall rates right now are as high as roughly 1/2 inch to 1 inch per hour. We go back just a few hours ago, and we only had about 2 inches of snow when we went off the air at 9 o'clock. So again, we're talking about things that are changing rapidly here. We're going to keep tracking this snow for you as we get through the rest of today. And right now, again, we just mentioned Shay is going to be with us, giving us all the updates you need, the latest info on traffic and total. She's live right now in the Breaking Weather Center. Shay, what are you seeing?
Good morning, Greg. Well, so far we've had a few travel advisories for Kosciuszko, Fulton, and Pulaski County, but now LaPorte and Marshall County are under a travel watch, which basically means essential travel only, like work or an emergency, is allowed, just because that's how bad the road conditions are for those areas. But Elkhart also seeing multiple slide-offs this morning because there's a thin layer of ice covering those roads. But go ahead and take a look at this photo sent in by Todd Zimmerman. He said that he has had 4 inches of snow so far in Plymouth. And if you don't see any of your photos this morning, we are going to be having a 3 p.m. special this afternoon showing all of those photos sent in to hashtag Super Snow 57. So once again, hashtag Super Snow 57. Here's a quick look at some of those snow totals that we've seen so far. Once again, at the station, 4 inches of snow so far. In Waterford, 5.5 inches, and we're going to continue to see the snow accumulate as we head throughout the rest of the morning and afternoon. I'm live in the Breaking Weather Center. Shay Sorensen, ABC 57 News.
Thank you, Shay. ABC 57 News also checked out airport cancellations, which have been rolling in since early this morning at the South Bend International Airport. As you can see, there are several cancellations for both arrivals and delays today. The best advice if you plan to travel is to check your flight status with your airline company. This morning, ABC 57 News is live on the roads as many of you prepare for last-minute errands on this Super Bowl Sunday. ABC 57's Andrina Sentlever is live in the ABC 57 mobile weather tracker for us this morning. Andrina, where are you and how are the roads out there?
Good morning, Rachel. I'm on Lincoln Way West in Mishawaka, and it is getting really bad out here. Earlier today, I was driving around South Bend, and around 6 this morning, the snow had been on and off, but since around 7:30, it's been nonstop snowing. The roads are pretty slushy, and it's hard to get started at these lights. There's a ton of snow that has accumulated on the top of my car. It's falling down the windshield. You can kind of see some of it down there. I'm going to have to wipe it off, but just make sure to wipe that car off well before you head out today, if you have to head out. The traction out here is pretty bad too. It's hard to stop, so just give yourself enough time to stop it before the car in front of you. Visibility is also, it's hard to see too much ahead of you. So I'll keep you updated with updates from the mobile weather tracker. Andrina Sentlever, ABC 57 News.
All right, thank you, Andrina. It's important to remember to keep safe during this winter storm. Make sure you bring your pets and other animals inside today. Keep water running to help prevent pipes from freezing. Keep all fuel-burning equipment venting outside and kept clear. Open doors inside your home to allow air circulation around plumbing. And keep the thermostat at the same temperature throughout the day and the night. If your power goes out today during the storm, there are important things you can do to keep you and your family safe. Never use a generator inside your home, garage, or other partially enclosed area. Make sure you have a carbon monoxide alarms installed throughout your home as well. And if those do sound, move quickly to a fresh air location and call for help. Grocery stores across Michiana have been packed with people all weekend long shopping for the Super Bowl, weekly groceries, and of course the super snow. Photos from around the area show those empty grocery shelves, but there seems to be plenty of bread, milk, and eggs left. One Super Bowl party item not in short supply is alcohol. One shopper ABC 57 spoke with says regardless of the events and the weather, the grocery store is the last place he wants to be.
Fighting through the crowd, dodging people, going in and out, just checking out itself. It's just a hassle. Everyone's just going crazy.
So how do you feel about prepping and that kind of stuff?
It's just another day in Indiana.
The grocery store wasn't the only busy place this weekend as the super snow and the Super Bowl combine right here in Michiana. Places like Target were swamped Saturday as people prepared for a busy weekend. Restaurants in the area say they're already preparing for people to come out for the big game.
Expecting quite a bit of wings. That's going to be the majority of our orders. Wings are really popular, so people will brave just about any weather to come in and have the wings.
And places like Bruno's Pizza say they have scheduled additional delivery drivers to get as many of those pizzas out to you as possible. The game must go on. That's what the Fighting Irish women's basketball team is saying ahead of today's Pink Zone game. Tip-off is set for 1 o'clock against Wake Forest at Purcell Pavilion. The Pink Zone brunch to fight breast cancer is beginning right now at 10 o'clock. Again, the game is set to go on as of this morning. ABC 57 News will keep our eyes on this story and bring you updates if that changes. And stay with ABC 57 News Weekend Morning Edition all morning as we continue to have your first warning on this super snow. Our team of weather specialists are working nonstop to keep you and your family safe, as is ABC 57's Andrina Sentlever, who is out live on the roads. You can find updates on Facebook, Twitter, and abc57.com. You can also safely share your weather photos with us as well. And be sure to stay with us throughout the day, including our weather special beginning today at 3 o'clock on ABC 57 News. It's Super Bowl 49 in Phoenix. Many of you have been going to the store to buy some food in preparation for tonight's big game. Right now, this is a live picture out of Phoenix this morning, and it should be coming up in a second, as the New England Patriots and Seattle Seahawks get ready to face off. Kickoff is set for 6:30 tonight. The Super Bowl game comes after some accuse the Patriots of deflating 11 of 12 footballs in the AFC Championship game against the Colts. The NFL says it is still investigating. When you watch the Super Bowl tonight, there will be two former Fighting Irish stars hitting the field. Current New England Patriots teammates Jonas Gray and Darius Fleming are hoping to come home with a Super Bowl win. Gray played in 8 games this season as a running back, while Fleming was promoted from the practice squad in November. He played 5 regular season games on the team's special teams. Today marks the 16th year an Irish alum is on at least one of the Super Bowl teams. Again, kickoff tonight is at 6:30. This morning, ABC 57 News has continued first warning on this super snowstorm. Here's a live look at the roads in St. Joseph County this morning. ABC 57 meteorologist Greg Bobus's forecast in just minutes. It'd be a perfect day to just stay at home and watch the game because the snow isn't stopping anytime soon.
It is the best excuse ever to just stay inside, watch some football, and maybe eat a little more than you're supposed to. Snow's been coming down for over 12 hours. We'll take a look at how things progress throughout the morning. Things have really picked up the last 4 hours or so. If you're with us this morning, we started the show 6 o'clock. We had about 2 inches of snowfall. Now we're well past 4, and a lot of that's fallen in the past 2 hours. Here's what we're tracking for the rest of today and the next couple of days, really.
All right, thank you, Greg. This morning, ABC 57 News is live on the roads as many of you prepare for your day. ABC 57's Andrina Sentlever is out there on the roads, but it looks like we will have to go back with her. We're having a little bit of technical issues. So next we will go to another story. The brother of Japanese journalist Kenji Goto is speaking out this morning. A newly released video allegedly distributed by ISIS shows Goto's decapitated body. The 67-second video was released yesterday, but CNN has not yet confirmed its authenticity. As the news of Goto's death quickly spread, his brother spoke out about the devastation his death is causing the family.
As his brother, it's such a shame that this has happened. I wanted Kenji to come home alive and thank everyone for what they've done to save him. But this development is extremely unfortunate.
The Japanese Prime Minister has condemned the actions of ISIS, calling them unforgivable. He also vowed to continue to provide humanitarian support aid to any country affected by the fight against ISIS. Another case of the measles has been confirmed in New York as officials work to contain that outbreak.
And those folks spread out across the country, mix again, somewhere like the Super Bowl, travel again, mix in colleges, schools, all across the country.
A look at where that patient is believed to have traveled. Plus, ABC 57 News has your continued first warning on the Super Snow 57. In just minutes, your full forecast with a look at just how much snow is in your neighborhood. But the cold temperatures could become an issue too.
Yeah, when the snow exits, the cold's going to kick back in tonight. Your temperatures will be in the single digits, and that's important because of this. We just got reports that, as of right now, we're hearing that there's no power in areas near Knox. And we'll look into that, and like I mentioned, with a lot of wet snow on a lot of the power lines and wind picking up later on, that could be a thing we start to see a little more frequently here. So temps dropping down to the single digits overnight. Maybe take some precautions now to get ahead of it. Maybe crank the heat a little bit. Here's what we're looking at right now on First Warning Satellite Radar. One fun note before we toss it over to Shay in the Breaking Weather Center. 4 years ago from today was the beginning of the big Groundhog Day winter storm we saw across all of the Midwest that dropped 13 inches for us in 2 days. So it's kind of funny how history can repeat itself to the exact day sometimes. But like I mentioned, we're going to go live now to Shay Sorensen, who's in the Breaking Weather Center with some more updates for you. Shay?
Good morning, Greg. Yes, what you need to know this morning is we do have a few counties under a travel watch, and those include LaPorte and Marshall. And basically what that means is you need to, if you have to go out on the roads, it's for essential travel only, like an emergency, or if you have to go to work. So you're definitely going to want to be careful if you're in any of those counties and you have to be out on the roads. Kosciuszko, Felton, Pulaski, and LaPorte all under a travel advisory, which also just means roads may be restricted and obviously hazardous road conditions due to all of this snow that's falling. Go ahead and take a quick look at the snow totals so far. Just measured 5 inches here at the station, and only less than an hour ago, I should say, 4 inches. So we've gotten over an inch in less than an hour, about 45 minutes. So we're going to continue to see this accumulate, and also send your photos and your snow totals to hashtag SuperSnow57. I'm live in the Breaking Weather Center. Shay Sorensen, ABC 57 News.
Thank you, Shay. This morning, ABC 57 News has a health alert to pass along as more confirmed cases of the measles are being reported. Officials in New York are reporting a college student has now been diagnosed with the highly contagious disease. The small school is just south of Albany. Officials believe the majority of the measles cases began back in December, stemming from an outbreak in Disneyland. Now, more on that measles patient out of New York. Officials now believe that a patient was on a passenger train, an Amtrak train, headed to Albany and then to Niagara Falls. The patient never made it to his or her final destination. Officials are worried about the other passengers on that train.
It's so contagious that if somebody has measles and they're in a room and breathing because it's spread by air droplets, and then they leave the room and an unimmunized person walks into that same room 2 hours later, there's a 90% chance that they're going to get infected.
Officials are warning anyone who was on that train and has not been vaccinated to see a doctor immediately. The Super Bowl is just hours away, and fans from both teams are gearing up for the big game. How the Seattle Seahawks fans celebrated the Super Bowl from the sky, and
we have a lot of school pride, and I believe that as UNH students that we respect our campus.
A New Hampshire school is warning students of rioting. Why the police say you can celebrate the big game, but don't get out of hand. ABC 57 News is showing you a live picture out of a foggy Phoenix as the Seattle Seahawks and New England Patriots prepare for Super Bowl 49. The game is set to kick off tonight at 6:30. The Super Bowl game comes after some accuse the Patriots of deflating several footballs in the AFC Championship game against the Colts. The NFL says it is investigating those allegations. Nearly 200 of the top Seahawks fans took part in a tailgate party at the airport this weekend, and they're all headed to the Super Bowl, of course. 180 people were selected for free flights out of 80,000 of Alaska's Mileage Plan members. In addition to that free flight, each of the people get a 2-night hotel stay in Phoenix and tickets to a VIP viewing party to watch the game.
If you're a Seahawks fan and you're in first class, come on up.
We're going to Super Bowl Central right away.
All of those on the plane also got free food as well. A college town is rooting for the Patriots in the Super Bowl, but the town is hoping things don't get out of hand. 2 years ago, the Boston Red Sox won the World Series. Students at the University of New Hampshire celebrated the win by rioting. That caused thousands of dollars in property damage across the town. This year, police say people can party, just party safely.
The reality is that we do have to plan for the worst and hope for the best. And I'm very confident, frankly, that the students will celebrate responsibility.
The students say they have a lot of school pride, but also a respect for the campus and the town. This morning, ABC 57 News has continued first warning coverage on this super snowstorm. Here's a live look at the roads in St. Joseph County. ABC 57's team coverage of this super snow 57 continues next.
Continuing to fall this morning, heavier than this morning. We'll continue to update you on the accumulation totals. All right, thanks for joining us. ABC 57 News starts right now.
Live from Michiana, this is ABC 57 News.
This morning on ABC 57 News, we have your first warning on this weekend's super snow. Just how much your neighborhood will be shoveling this morning, and a live look at the road conditions as you head out the door. ABC 57 News Weekend Morning Edition is following a super snow hitting our area this morning. Tracking this storm is important to us and to you. Good morning, I'm Rachel Brown.
And I'm Greg Bobus.
We start with breaking news overnight this morning. Roughly 3,000 people were without power in St. Joseph County. Indiana Michigan Power tells ABC 57 News a pole insulator failed. They are still investigating. This is video from the scene overnight as crews work to restore power. I&M says all customers were switched to another power source and electricity has been restored. ABC 57 News will keep following this story and bring you updates as they develop. We do want to mention this morning there are several churches that are closing because of the conditions. You may want to check with your respective church before you head out this morning.
And also just into our news from this in the past 10 minutes, US 20 between exits 348 and 340. That's 15 miles north of the Auburn area. There's a jackknife semi-trailer and all lanes are blocked for at least the next 45 minutes. If you're heading anywhere in that area, definitely try to avoid it because you're not going to be going anywhere. And we just mentioned the power outage overnight. We're getting some more power outages into our newsroom as well. We'll update you with those in just a few minutes. So a lot to get to, have to talk about. Threat Tracker, you don't have to really guess. We're high for this one today and tonight, and that's because the snow keeps coming down. Is really the impact. Travel, very difficult in any direction. Near whiteout conditions in some spots, power outages being reported, a lot of cancellations, a lot of things, again, we'll keep you updated with. And the snow is falling pretty quickly. When you hear how quickly some of these totals have come on down, it is fairly impressive so far, and we're not even anywhere near being done yet. Again, temperatures actually will drop throughout today. We'll be in the teens by the time the game's wrapping up tonight. We do have snow continuing to fall. Dark blue means heavy snow. Green means temperatures are right around freezing. Very, very wet snow. Even a couple of raindrops might be mixed in. We'll track this all down neighborhood level coming up in the full forecast in about 10 minutes. We'll also look ahead to the possibility of what we could see for totals. And we'll time this and finally get it out of here, but look ahead to quite the cool down as well. First, though, we're going to toss it back outside to weather specialist Shay Sorensen to see how things are shaping up out there. Shay, what's it looking like?
Hey, good morning, Greg. Well, yeah, the snow's starting to fall rather quickly over the past hour, and I measured 5 inches of snow here. So how do you measure snow, and how do you get that accurate measurement? Well, when I went out to measure it only about a half an hour ago, I took a measurement in several spots, maybe 3 or 4, just to make sure I was getting the same reading. So again, 5 inches is what I got every single time. So when you go outside, just go ahead and take a couple of measurements and then send your photos and your total measurement in your neighborhood to #SuperSnow57. And while you're outside, go ahead and maybe build a little snowman like Greg and I did earlier, just a little mini one. You see him in the background? Yeah, he's pretty cute. All right, I'll have a new update on those snow totals coming up in the next few minutes. I'm live outside. Shay Sorensen, ABC 57 News.
All right. Thank you, Shay. ABC 57 News checked out airport cancellations, which have been rolling in since early this morning at the South Bend International Airport. As you can see, there are several cancellations for both arrivals and delays today. The best advice if you plan to travel is to just check ahead with your airline company. This morning, ABC 57 News is live on the roads as many of you prepare for last-minute errands on this Super Bowl Sunday. ABC 57's Andrina Sentlever is live in the ABC 57 mobile weather tracker for us. Andrina, what are you seeing on the roads this morning?
Good morning, Rachel. I'm turning onto 4th Street in Mishawaka, and there aren't too many cars back here in the neighborhoods, but what I am seeing are people are out shoveling, and with the visibility being so low, it's hard to see people shoveling their driveways until you get super close to them. So if you are out driving, just beware of that. The traction's also getting worse as the time goes on. If I stop at this stop sign, it's harder to stop, so just make sure to take your time if there are other cars around you. Snow's coming down. You can see it. You can hardly see any of the cars up ahead. The snow's collecting on the trees. It's just coming down harder than it was earlier today. Reporting live from the mobile weather tracker, Andrina Sentlever, ABC 57 News.
Thank you for that update, Andrina. It's important to remember to stay safe during this winter storm. There are several things you can do to remember to keep you all safe. Make sure you bring your pets and other animals inside today. Keep water running to help prevent pipes from freezing. Keep all fuel-burning equipment venting outside and kept clear. Open doors inside your home to allow air circulation around plumbing, and keep the thermostat at the same temperature throughout the day and night. Grocery stores across Michiana have been packed with people all weekend long shopping for the Super Bowl, weekly groceries, and of course the super snow. Photos from the area show the grocery stores with empty shelves, including empty produce and water shelves. But it seems there was still plenty of bread, milk, and eggs left. One Super Bowl party item not in short supply is alcohol. One shopper ABC 57 spoke with says regardless of the events, the grocery store is one place he didn't want to be.
Fighting through the crowd, dodging people, going in and out, just checking out itself. It's just a hassle. Everyone's just going crazy.
So how do you feel about prepping and that kind of stuff?
It's just another day in Indiana.
The game must go on. That's what the Fighting Irish women's basketball team is saying ahead of today's Pink Zone game. Tip-off is set for 1 o'clock against Wake Forest at Purcell Pavilion. The Pink Zone brunch to fight breast cancer began at 10 o'clock this morning. Again, the game is set to still go on as of this morning. ABC 57 News will keep our eyes on this story for you and bring you any updates if that changes. Stay with ABC 57 News Weekend Morning Edition as we continue to have your first warning on this super snow. Our team of weather specialists are working nonstop to keep you and your family safe, as is ABC 57's Andrina Sentlever, who is live on the roads. You can find updates on Facebook, Twitter, and abc57.com. You can also safely share your weather photos with us there as well. And be sure to stay with us throughout the day, including our special weather coverage beginning at 3 o'clock today on ABC 57 News. It's Super Bowl 49 in Phoenix. Many of you have been going to the store to buy some food in preparation for tonight's game. Right now, this is a live picture out of Phoenix this morning as the New England Patriots and Seattle Seahawks get ready to face off. Kickoff is set for 6:30 tonight. The Super Bowl game comes after some accuse the Patriots of deflating 11 of 12 footballs in the AFC Championship game against the Colts. The NFL says it is still investigating. And when you watch the Super Bowl tonight, there will be two former Fighting Irish stars hitting the field. Current New England teammates Jonas Gray and Darius Fleming are hoping to come home with the Super Bowl win. Gray played in 8 games this season as a running back, while Fleming was promoted from the practice squad in November. He played 5 regular season games on special teams. Today marks the 16th year an Irish alum is on at least one of the Super Bowl teams. Again, tonight's game kicks off at 6:30. This morning, ABC 57 News has continued first warning on this super snowstorm. Here's a live look at the roads in St. Joseph County. ABC 57 meteorologist Greg Bobus's full forecast in just minutes.
Yeah, visibility is down. We're also getting some more info into our newsroom right now. Just a couple of places, preliminary power outages right now. St. Joseph County, Indiana, almost 200 people without power, about 150 people without power right now in Elkhart County, and roughly 150 in Van Buren County as well. These numbers are only most likely going to go up because the wind's going to pick up, and this is really heavy snow. You got to keep up with this with the shoveling. If you wait and you're using an actual hand shovel by the end, it's going to take a long time. And take a look, though. We are talking about more power outages as we go into the rest of today. We'll keep you posted on social media, on abc57.com, and follow along with us and let us know what you're seeing and what is impacting you. Use the hashtag SuperSnow57.
All right, thank you, Greg. This morning, ABC 57 News is still live on the roads as many of you prepare for your day. ABC 57's Andrina Sentlever is live in the ABC 57 mobile weather tracker for us. Andrina, what are you seeing out there?
Good morning, Rachel. I'm passing the Mishawaka Police Department where there is a lot of snow. I've actually seen a good amount of police officers out here also. I talked to St. Joseph County Dispatch. They said there's 3 accidents out on the roads right now. So if you have to leave your house, just make sure to take it slow so that you don't end up in one of those accidents. And if you don't need to leave your house, I'd suggest not leaving. The snow just has not stopped. It's getting heavier and heavier. Visibility is also over the bridge coming up over here. And we'll keep you updated with all of the snow updates from the mobile weather tracker. Andrina Sentlever, ABC 57 News.
Officials say peace talks in Ukraine have fallen apart and the Ukrainian government has failed to reach an agreement with the rebel leaders. Death and destruction now line a road once considered a lifeline for a key Ukrainian village of separatists. 12 people were reportedly killed within the last day. Most people have fled the village, but some won't or simply cannot leave. Those who have stayed have been forced to hide underground. Ukraine says the bombing has taken over the town and their troops are no longer in control. Officials say the suspect accused of a shooting a Michigan police officer has a criminal history. 31-year-old Alan James is accused of shooting an officer responding to a domestic violence incident. Police say James was previously charged with felony assault. In the most recent incident, officials say James was drunk and got into a fight with his wife. Police shot James in the head and the chest. He is currently listed in critical but stable condition this morning. Now to some dramatic video out of Illinois. Police dash cam video shows moments an officer approaches a vehicle and then is shot at. The shootout happened 2 years ago, but the video is just now being released. The suspect and shooter, 30-year-old Dallas McIntosh, was sentenced on Thursday.
You could be going to work one day thinking everything's okay, and all of a sudden you're not going home tonight. It was scary. It was horrifying. I mean, you see the guy that you work next to, he almost lost his life right there in an instant.
The officer involved suffered a career-ending injury in that shooting. The suspect was also wounded before he sped away. McIntosh was sentenced to 40 years in prison for trying to kill those officers. Today's football at the Super Bowl will be watched closely by the refs to ensure nothing is wrong with them. This morning, a look at the factory those footballs are manufactured in and what employees are saying about the Deflategate scandal. Plus, ABC 57 News has your continued first warning on the Super Snow 57. In just minutes, your full forecast with a look at just how much snow your neighborhood will get. Deflategate scandal is if someone let the air out of the footballs during the AFC Championship game. One question that hasn't been answered is where those footballs come from. ABC 57 can tell you they come from the Wilson Sporting Goods football factory in the small town of Ada, Ohio. Every single football used in an NFL game or practice is made at that factory, and it's been that way for 74 seasons. Workers say don't blame Mother Nature, as the Patriots head coach has, for the Deflategate situation.
This ball will not leak unless you put a needle in it and let the air out.
Wilson has sent 108 official Super Bowl 49 game balls to Arizona for tonight's big game. That again kicks off at 6:30 between the Seattle Seahawks and the New England Patriots. And right here in Michiana, big day for weather, and you were talking about Groundhog Day too.
Yeah, think about this. Okay, think back 4 years ago. We had a pretty big snow system that hit all of the Midwest. It gave some places 20+ inches. It gave us here in the South Bend, Michiana area, 13 inches in 2 days. That snowstorm started 4 years ago to the day. And here we are 4 years later, and we're pretty much in the same situation where some spots can see 15 inches. So it's crazy how history can repeat itself right down this.
Sure is.
Let's take a look at First Warning Live Doppler. What we're looking at, we'll track these down the neighborhood level from the snow we're getting now. And I mentioned a lot of updates that we have to the newsroom. And let's just toss it out right now to Shay Sorensen, who's live in the Breaking Weather Center with some of those updates. Shay?
Good morning, Greg. Well, just in Marshall, LaPorte, and Elkhart, all reporting over ½ a foot of snow, and the largest report we've had so far is LaPorte with 8 inches of snow so far. And I actually just went out and measured here at ABC 57. We measured 6.2 inches, and only a half an hour ago we were at 5 inches. So that's a little over an inch in less than a half an hour. So seeing a lot of snow this morning. Also, we had that accident on US 20 that has cleared up. Still seeing those power outages in St. Joseph, Elkhart, and Van Buren counties. But go ahead and take a quick look at this picture sent in by Amy. One of the reasons why we're seeing those power outages is take a look at that tree in the background, seeing some snow on that tree. So that's definitely going to help break those branches or those power lines. So may continue to see those power outages. But if you don't see your photos here this morning, be sure to tune back in at 3 p.m. for our special weather coverage, where we will be showing all those photos that you're sending into #SuperSnow57. I'm live in the Breaking Weather Center. Shay Sorensen, ABC 57 News.
This morning, ABC 57's live team coverage of the super snowstorm continues. A look at what you need to know this morning before your day begins, coming up on ABC 57 News. Out airport cancellations, which have been rolling in since early this morning at the South Bend International Airport. As you can see, there are several cancellations for both arrivals and delays today. The best advice if you plan to travel is to just check ahead with your airline company. Grocery stores across Michiana have been packed with people all weekend long, shopping for the Super Bowl, weekly groceries, and of course the super snow. Photos from around the area show those empty grocery shelves, including empty produce and water shelves. But it seems there was still plenty of bread, milk, and eggs left. One Super Bowl party item not in short supply is alcohol. The game must go on. That's what the Fighting Irish women's basketball team is saying ahead of today's Pink Zone game. Tip-off is set for 1 o'clock against Wake Forest at the Purcell Pavilion. The Pink Zone brunch to fight breast cancer began at 10 o'clock this morning. Again, the game is still set to go on as of this morning, but we will keep our eyes on the story and bring you any updates if that changes. It's Super Bowl 49 in Phoenix. Many of you have been going to the store to buy some food in preparation for tonight's big game. Right now, this is a live picture out of foggy Phoenix this morning as the New England Patriots and Seattle Seahawks get ready to face off. When you watch tonight's game, you may notice 2 former Irish players. Current New England Patriots teammates Jonas Gray and Darius Fleming are both hoping to come home with the Super Bowl win. Kickoff is set for 6:30 tonight. And now let's head over to ABC 57 weather meteorologist Greg Bobus for a final check of your forecast.
And the snow keeps coming down. It's the same situation we've been in the last 3 or 4 hours. We're getting about 1 inch of accumulation per hour. Stay with us. We'll keep updating you here on ABC 57. Also, on social media, on the website, abc57.com. Use the hashtag throughout the morning and the afternoon when we're talking about snow pictures, questions, totals. Let us know your totals. And just all you got to do is just go on Twitter and use the hashtag SuperSnow57. We'll even take your questions and answer those for you. We're not anywhere near being done. Take a look off to our south and our west. Plenty more snow to go. This will last throughout the rest of this afternoon. So again, stay with us and we'll keep you updated on everything we hear into our newsroom.
All right, thank you all for joining us here on ABC 57 News Weekend Morning Edition. I'm Rachel Brown.
I'm Shay Sorensen.
And I'm Greg Bovis.
ABC 57 News will be back at 3 o'clock this afternoon with our special coverage on this super snow. We hope to see you then. Have a great day.